Hey guys, welcome. In this video, I am not going to do any Star Citizen science nor any gameplay, but simply talk about our health and playing Star Citizen. This video is, first of all, made for myself as a constant reminder, and then for all my Cube members, my friends and org mates, and all the Cube guests, and also for all my viewers and all the Star Citizen players. If you have followed and played Star Citizen for some time, you will undoubtedly found yourself both physically and mentally draining once in a while. There are many exciting moments playing this game, of course, and one of them is about to come tomorrow, and then all throughout the rest of this month. However, because of some of the questionable practices of the company and their marketing schemes, also many long unsolved game-breaking bugs, and the grindiness of the gameplay nature itself, these have left many players disappointed, heartbroken, and then when these feelings accumulate, it will eventually lead to a great amount of mental frustration, which can put a toll on your mental health, and then unnoticeably affect your physical health. But mental health is not the focus of this video. Our physical health is. When you are frustrated with playing Star Citizen, your mental health suffers. However, when you are excited and happy playing Star Citizen, which is me most of the time, then danger also looms on the horizon. When we have a big chunk of time playing Star Citizen, especially with friends or in an org, we often sit in front of our computer for hours and hours. When it's lunch or dinner time, when there are cargoes to be loaded, or an wrap to be grind, or a player to be hunted, or Valakar to be killed, then oftentimes we just grab whatever we can eat. Frozen pizza, instant noodle, donut, fried chicken, hot dogs, chips, Doritos. Oh, those are super yummy. So we quickly stuff those into our mouths and then continue playing. And some of us even play it into late at night or early in the morning. Can you imagine the damage these playing habits will do to our body, especially in the long run, day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year? And I was guilty of many of this for quite a while. Technologies have revolutionized our world many times over, especially in our workplaces. For the majority of the jobs we do and the leisure times that we spent, well, some of us spent all our leisure times playing Star Citizen, right? So in general, people tend to sit more throughout the day rather than move more. And one of the biggest human metabolism destroyer is sitting still for a long time. And sitting still for more than 1 or 2 hours is considered a long time. Your metabolism starts to slow down, muscles weakens. Visceral fat accumulates faster, which will lead to more inflammation, and plus some unwise diet choices. 1 day or 2 of this is no problem, but if this becomes a habit of how you play Star Citizen in general, and it lasted for months and years, then it could lead to some metabolism issues, which in many cases is the first door to many human health issues. So if playing Star Citizen has cultivated this anti-health habit in your life, then perhaps it is time for a change. I had this problem for a long time, and I can see my weight accumulating throughout these past couple of years. Not only because that after I got married, my mother-in-law often cooked delicious Korean food and those delicious meat and all the Korean barbecues we ate. Oh, it just so good, but also because I started playing Star Citizen, making videos and stopped moving or exercising often. I used to be quite active and kept my weight at around 150 pounds, but throughout these years of bad habit playing Star Citizen, I managed to put another 30 pounds on top of it. And you can guess how many of them end up becoming the visceral fats. I am 6 feet tall, so that might not seem a lot when you look at me, but my blood test says otherwise. So a change has to be made. A new lifestyle has to be cultivated if I were to enjoy playing Star Citizen for the long run and keep making videos. Difficult, it might seem in the beginning, dragging this 180 pounds to a gym every morning and every night. But 3 months later, I left 20 of those in the gym, brought back home more energy, more productivity, clearer mind, and more mental endurance toward handling the frustrations in this damn game. So that 20 pounds was such a good price to trade for all these good benefits. Sitting still for a long time playing Star Citizen is not the only health alert. As I mentioned earlier, eating habit is also very important. If playing Star Citizen has caused you to stuff whatever you can find in your mouth in order to keep playing the game, then this is the second health alert, and it should sound louder than the first one. And diet is such a big topic and oftentimes controversial. I'm not qualified enough to tell you what to eat, but I'm sure the list of food that we need to avoid is mostly universal. Trans fat, which is a #1 health destroyer, often contained in fried food, some cookies, cakes with artificial creamers, many potato chips if they're fried. On many packages of these potato chips, it might say trans fat is 0, but in the US at least, the regulation is that if it contains less than 0.5 grams per serving, the manufacturers can simply put it as 0. So there are actually lots of hidden trans fat you can consume if you consume a lot of those fried potato chips, especially during a gameplay session when you don't want to move to make a real dinner or lunch. And second on the list are those processed or ultra-processed starches, which contains so little nutrition but often high in glycemic index. And the third on the list will be anything that contains too much sugar. Just plain and simple, that we all know that. If too much sugar in your blood that cannot be processed by your cells, they can do a lot of damage staying in your blood vessels. And that is also why a slight to moderate muscle workout 2 to 3 minutes every couple of hours throughout the day is so important, because your muscle is a second sugar processing factory. And playing Star Citizen is providing you with the perfect opportunity to do so. If you cultivate this habit that during a quantum travel, push your chairs away and do some squats and push-ups, or simply lift up some weights, or going up and down the stairs, just for a minute or two even. And sometimes the quantum travel in Star Citizen can be quite long, so you got plenty of opportunity to do a health boost. So those are, in general, the things to avoid for a healthy day-to-day diet. But once in a while, get a soda, a potato chip is no problem. It is when they have become part of your Star Citizen playing and eating habit that is a problem. And because this is a gaming channel for Star Citizen, and I am not a nutritionist, so I'm not here to give you any diet advice. Simply a reminder to sound an alarm if you are falling into a downward health spiral because of playing Star Citizen. If so, now is the time to turn this spiral in the upward direction. And it is time for you to do your own research and test it on your own body and find out what is the best and healthiest diet for you according to your own situation. I spent a lot of time and did my research and find out what is suitable for me. Most of the time, I only eat 1 meal a day, or sometimes 2 during the weekdays. And weekends, we'll often go to a restaurant to eat a big meal. But my general day-to-day first meal of the day is always with plenty of cruciferous and non-starchy vegetables, and with my favorite protein bowl, 1 or 2 eggs with half of avocado, a handful of nuts, a teaspoon of soaked chia seeds, plus some sardines and extra virgin olive oil, with another small bowl of good whole grain carbohydrate, usually steel-cut oats with buckwheat groats, plus some quinoa and edamame beans. And that's not it. Still another bowl of low-sugar fruits, a mix of blueberries, mulberries, and sometimes a few strawberries and apples and kiwi. And let me tell you that this is the most complicated thing I've ever done in my life. And I spend a lot of time and do it every single day for myself, as well as for my wife to take to work. But you know what she said? She said, "You just took the joy of eating out of my life." But of course, she said it in a half-joking way because the benefit is real. And to test that, I've even had someone wear a medical blood sugar monitor for 14 days to test a certain food, just as I do the testing in Star Citizen. And during that 14 days, the highest blood sugar spike is with 1 little brownie. It caused the blood sugar level to skyrocket in a very short time. And the second highest blood sugar spike is with some white bread, if you eat it first with an empty stomach. However, to my surprise, the third highest blood sugar spike is with some sugary fruits, such as lots of watermelon, pineapples, and banana, if you eat them with an empty stomach or first thing in the morning. So that is how, with those those research and testing, I slowly created my own diet menu. If consumed in the order of those non-starchy veggie first, then good proteins and good fats second, then whole grain carbohydrate third, and last, some low sugar fruits. When tested in this order, this provided a most mild and stable blood sugar curve throughout the day with just one meal. And you don't get hungry that easily. And your energy supply lasts much longer throughout the day. Your mind is ever clearer, and in the afternoon, you don't feel that drain anymore. Plus some good workouts. Your productivity is ever higher, and your focus is ever sharper. And that is why I am able to produce lots of videos every day, recording and editing all on my own. Because honestly, I get a lot more joy editing the video than recording it. Because sometimes I relive those funny moments, but of course, also relive those frustrating moments. Whenever I make a lot of videos, many viewers will always kindly remind me of taking care of my house, go to sleep early, even though I didn't always reply to those comments. But from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate that. Thank you guys very much. Yet, there are also some viewers wondering if I was just want to get more views, thus more money, which is the reason I make so many videos sometimes. But they are not certain, or they try to be polite, so they left those comments in a doubting way. So here, let me remove all your doubts, because I can tell you clearly and absolutely 100% certainly, of course I want more views, more subs, more money. There is just no doubt about it. Even though in every video I never said please like and subscribe. But not even one video I made that I don't want more views. That should be obvious. Because if you work for a company, do you not want to work hard to keep your job, or even to get a raise, or simply expecting your paycheck? Or you just, I'm just being here today, trying to work. Even better, if you're a salesperson, do you not want to be the one to first arrive the customer's door to make that first sale and keep making good sales throughout the day? Or you just trying to drag yourself throughout the day? But there is a big but. The amount of views is not my goal. The amount of subscribers is not my focus, and the money is not my purpose. My goal, my focus, my purpose are solely on how to make the best Star Citizen content that I can make. And everything else is just a byproduct. Just as what John D. Rockefeller said, fortune is just an accident, a byproduct. I strongly believe that. And I believe the true product is a good content that you can sincerely make with the time and energy that you have. But surprisingly, with a healthy lifestyle, you got more time and energy and a lot more productivity to make the real good products. Even though not everyone will like your products, but as long as you did your best, you are already a success with a complete peace of mind, which will shield you from any haters. So life is a whole, and every day matters. Your health matters. Now, in this health picture that we're drawing regarding playing Star Citizen, there is a third alarm, and it will sound when you start to play Star Citizen late into the night, especially into the early morning. All health attempts will fail if you do not get a consistent good night's sleeps. For this, we really don't need to explain too much. Our organs and our brain need a decent sleep to repair and recover every single day. Consistent lack of sleep just gonna cause too many physical and mental problems. In a word, it is really not worth to credit your health in order to keep playing Star Citizen into the early morning. I was very guilty of this before, and now I want to remind especially my friends and org mates in our org, don't hesitate or don't be afraid to say no when they invite you to play longer. Even I invite you to play longer, to join the event, to stay with us longer, especially in a voice channel. Don't feel bad that you have to reject us and to ditch us in the middle of an operation just because it is your bedtime. Your health is more important than the game itself. And in this community, in this org, we not only want to create a healthy, non-toxic game-playing environment and community, we also want every single one of you to be healthy, because we want to play Star Citizen with you for the long journey ahead. So if it is late for you, just leave the game, leave the VC and go to bed. But if you happens to out of before when you leave the group while your body is still on our ship, then it will be up to us to do whatever to your body, and you have no say. So, okay, stop imagining anything. So now you see, health is a complete picture which has to be drawn every single day, and we are the artist that draws that picture, you and me. We can't leave it blank. And this picture contains 3+1 parts. Enough physical activities throughout the day, a good diet that fits your own life, and a good night's sleep, plus some stress management and mental health. However, playing Star Citizen sometimes can totally disrupt this picture and bring us to a downward spiral. If you sit there playing for hours, stuffing in your mouth whatever you can find, playing into early in the morning, plus all the frustrating bugs, ship blowing up, falling through the hangars, loss of cargo, the frustration list is super long, which can easily put you in a bad mental state. And then the next day, you'll be so draining and get hungry more often with less self-discipline to bad diet, and you got tired so easily, so after work, you just sit there for hours, play Star Citizen again with frustration, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. Eventually, it will drag your health down. So if you're currently in this kind of spiral, then it is time to change its direction, slowly but steadily adding physical activities throughout the day, some quick workouts during quantum jump, stop eating unhealthy food, and slowly adding some healthy diet according to your own situation. Unless they release the Ironclad or the Kraken or the Battle Cruiser, then you shouldn't be staying up playing. Oh wait, tomorrow they are going to release the Ironclad to the PTU. Oh well, here is your legitimate excuse. But just as many comments of the viewers keep reminding me to sleep early, yes, staying up late should be a very rare occasion. However, I will make no such promises next week because of the DefenseCon and the new ships. Is a DefenseCon more important or sleep is more important? I need to think about it. Alright, joke aside, I wish this video can bring some health awareness to all my fellow Star Citizen players, and especially my friends and my workmates. Let's enjoy the game together, but enjoy it with a healthy body, a healthy lifestyle, a healthy mind, so that we can enjoy it for the long run ahead. Thank you guys for listening. See you in the verse.